Welcome into the third episode of This Week in Alabama Alt Football with UFL Isaac. This past week, the Astros dominated, the Beavers and Rivergators lost, the World Police and Fire Games flag football games ended, and the Stallions finally got their 2024 UFL Championship rings. All coming up on This Week in Alabama Alt Football. The first team that we are going to be talking about this week is the Huntsville Astros, who absolutely blew UP1 Athletic Showcase out of the water this week, winning 50-0 in their second game, and that would be their second straight shutout of the year in their second game. Week 1 was a 45-0 win over the Tennessee Hornets. This week was a 50-0 win over UP1 Athletic Showcase. The Astros will be on a bye week this week, but will come back on July 13th, Sunday, July 13th, to play the Dallas Prime. And my game review will be on this week's episode of All About the Astros, and that's all the Astros news that we have this week. The next team that we are getting into this week is the Alabama Beavers, as they finally played a snap of football this week in their first ever true football game, but they lost to the Racine Raiders, a really good football team, 13-12. But the Alabama Beavers were up 12-0 with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but then blew the game at the end. And then the Beavers did display their new red jerseys that they wore this week. And then also they announced a football camp at Monrovia Elementary football field on Saturday, July 26th. So later this month, they're going to have a football camp with different youth football players. So if you have any youth football players, make sure to show up to the little football camp to get autographs from some of the players, to meet the players, and then also to get some tips from them. And that's all of the Alabama Beavers news that we have this week. Alabama's very own arena football team, the Tri-City Rivergators, in their inaugural season, had their season come to a close this weekend against the number 6th ranked Mississippi Wolfpack in any arena football team. And then the game review is actually going to be on the Rivergators Recap, our new show, which is actually out now on YouTube. So if you want the full recap of the game and then my players of the game and players of the year, make sure you go over to the Rivergators Recap to watch the video. And that's all for the Rivergators. The big event in Birmingham, Alabama this week was the World Police and Fire Games that came to Birmingham this past week. This past Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, they had flag football games throughout basically the whole entire day. And I actually went to Monday's game. I went to 3 of them. So make sure, if you guys want to see the pictures, they are on my YouTube short that I made. But it was a really fun time seeing 3 different games, and a bunch of the different players were super nice. And then even though the flag football is over, there are still more sports that happen for the rest of the week until Sunday, July 6th. So if you're interested, go to their website and look up the remaining sports that are left. And then Sunday is the closing ceremony for the World Police and Fire Games. And I would just like to thank the World Police and Fire Games for coming to Alabama and coming to Birmingham this year. And thanks for having amazing flag football games. Our last set of news that we have this week is for our 3-time champion Birmingham Stallions, who finally had their 2024 UFL Championship ring ceremony this past Wednesday, July 2nd, on Zoom. So all the players finally got their rings. I've heard that it was the rings that they got, the company had them behind, so it was not a UFL problem, but it was their ring company's problem. But they finally got rewarded for having their 2024 UFL Championship, where they went 11-1 that year and won it all. So shout out and congratulations to the 2024 Birmingham Stallions for winning it all, and let's go win another one next year. And that's it for the third episode of This Week in Alabama Alt Football with UFL Isaac. We had everything from the Astros dominating to a sadly end of the year for the Rivergators, the Beavers finally playing, the Stallions getting their championship rings, and the World Police and Fire Games flag football were in Birmingham. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. UFL Isaac out.